Well, let me say first that if you have survived so far in Module 2, then you're going to make it, because this module is probably the most difficult challenge in implementing an effective comprehensive counseling model. Many of the concepts are new, the processes are a little unfamiliar, and sometimes the terminology can be a little foreign. But here in the second half, Section D, you're going to pull it all together. So stay with us, you're doing great. You will be completing 3 critical tasks in this section. First, creating SMART goals for your counseling program, and we make it very easy for you to do. Second, identifying possible root causes of why this data is not so good. And third, you'll be brainstorming possible activities, strategies, or interventions to address the data. When you click on the pencil icon in Step 12, the student needs data points that you selected back in Step 10 will automatically be imported here to this page and will show up in green text. The data points will serve as the basis for developing your first SMART goal. In this example, your priority student needs data point is that 34% of 9th graders are missing more than 10 days per semester. We'll now take this data and convert it into a SMART goal. SMART stands for goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. To convert your data point to a SMART goal, start in Step 1 by picking an end date by which you want to achieve the goal. A calendar pop-up allows you to easily complete this task, and most times the goal completion date is the end of the school year. Next, in Step 2, choose first if you want to impact the data point as a number or a percentage. In most cases, this depends on whether the data point you have is expressed in numbers or percentages. Expressing your impact in numbers or percentages makes it very clear to others what level of impact you're making. This example is in percentages, so we'll click on that. Then, still in Step 2, enter the target group and the data point that you want to move or influence. As the information icon indicates, be specific here, listing both the target data and the target group, such as the number of 7th grade female students, that's the group, who have 5 or more discipline referrals in one semester due to fighting, that's the data point. Or, as in this example, 9th graders missing more than 10 days per semester. This level of detail will be very helpful later on. In Step 3, indicate if you're wanting to increase or decrease your target data. That's an easy step because here we want to decrease the percentage. Then in Step 4, enter your baseline data in the first box. Baseline data is the number or percentage that you're starting with, and easy enough, it's the number or percentage you identified when you selected this priority student data point. It's the data that you have. Let's say that you found by researching your data that currently 5% of 9th graders are missing more than 10 days per semester. So you enter that number or percentage here. In the next box, put your estimated target number or percentage. This is the target number or percentage you are aiming to achieve by the end date. It's a guess, it's a wish, but nevertheless, you need a quantifiable number here or a percentage in this box. When entering your target prediction, you don't have to be wildly ambitious here. You can be conservative. It just has to move a little bit. Estimating that you hope to increase or decrease your baseline data by only 1 or 2 percentage points or by 1 or 2 numbers is completely okay. You get to choose your target data, so enter it here. In Step 5, you don't have to do anything because our online system automatically calculates the percentage of change, increase or decrease, from your baseline data to your target data, which in this case is negative 40%. These 5 steps are identical to the process of creating a SMART goal in the Ask a National model. So if you ever intend to apply for RAMP, you would use this exact same procedure. Complete this task of creating a SMART goal for each of the data points you prioritized earlier, which should take you no more than 5 to 15 minutes. Again, if you wish, stick to 2 goals or perhaps a third, but we advise you against setting too many goals as you start out especially. Now, let's move on to Step 13 on your to-do list, where we'll identify possible root causes. By clicking the pencil icon in Step 13, you're transported to another cool page that automatically imports your new SMART goals to this next step and allows you or your team to consider possible root causes for each of your goals. In this example, we're using slightly different data, but you can see how it converted the information you entered in Step 12 into a handy and easy-to-read SMART goal. One by one, underneath each of your SMART goals, ask what might be the reasons or root causes for this data gap. What might be getting in the way of these students meeting this goal? If you need ideas, look back at your student success needs assessment results. That data you collected from students may provide some great information or insights on student perceptions and can be very powerful when discussing root causes. The student perception data and those results can also help challenge certain biases that sometimes come up in discussions of root causes. Biases such as, oh, those types of students always do that, or the root causes are poor parenting, or this is common for students at this income level or of this particular ethnicity. Your needs assessment data can help counter some of those biases that may come up. If possible, think about root causes that might stem from students' mindsets or misperceptions, students' social emotional state, or students' lack of knowledge or skills or experiences in a particular area. In other words, what might be root causes that you, as a school counselor, could potentially address or influence? You have the ability through classroom lessons and small groups to directly influence students' beliefs, students' social-emotional well-being, students' motivation and engagement, students' knowledge or skills or experiences in a particular area. So are there root causes that might correlate to certain or some sort of information that they're lacking or skills that they need or experiences they need to experience? It's a thought pattern to keep in mind as you discuss your root causes. If you really want to build buy-in for your school counseling program, you might think about involving your administrators, even your school counseling advisory committee if you have one, in these root cause discussions. It can be a powerful and very interesting conversation when you involve stakeholders in conversations about root causes. It can often lead to some highlighting of important work that you do as a school counselor. Finally, after you've exhausted your ideas and your thoughts on root causes, move on to step 14, where we'll wrap up by having you brainstorm possible activities or strategies, or maybe some interventions, to address the root causes that you identified in step 13. Clicking on the pencil icon will take you to another web page in our system to which each of your SMART goals and each of the root causes you have identified earlier have been magically imported. You'll see your SMART goal in black. Underneath it, one of your possible root causes in gray text, followed by a green text box where you can start to create a bulleted list of possible strategies that the counseling office could complete in the school year. This is where you ponder, what could we actually do in our small groups or our classroom lessons to address this root cause? And by extension, move this SMART goal closer to our target data. Some of you are masters at coming up with activities or lesson plans or strategies. You've been waiting for this step for quite a while. But if you struggle with identifying strategies, think again about involving your principal or administrative team and your school counseling program's advisory council members if you have one. It's just another chance for you to build buy-in and support for the school counseling program. What you have just accomplished reflects the reverse logic approach of an effective, comprehensive counseling program that we discussed earlier in this module. Moving from right to left, you started by looking at critical student data in the areas of the big three: achievement, attendance, and discipline data. Then you discussed what could possibly be the root causes for that data, so that you can develop classroom lessons, small group sessions, and even individual meetings with students to address the root causes. And as you implement your school counseling program during the school year, you'll be collecting pre and post data to see if students are mastering your student learning objectives. Remember when we talked about those? And then you'll give students a needs assessment to see if more students are mastering your student standards. And then you'll look to see if any of these efforts are getting you closer to reaching your targeted student outcome goals. And even if you don't move the needle on your student outcome goals, you will still gain support by following this process of involving your administration and your counseling program advisory council along the way, and being very clear and intentional about the work your counseling program is doing. Finally, go to step 15 on your to-do list, click the document icon there, and you'll see that your complete annual update report has been generated automatically for you, allowing you and your team to review it. If you do need to make any edits or changes, just go back to that step of this module, make the changes there, and they will automatically be reflected on your annual update document. Because of the work you've done here in Module 2, your annual update report in just a handful of pages will provide clarity about who is involved in the counseling program. It'll tell what you will be doing this school year and what goals and impact you plan to have. It is a very clear message that the school counselors in this school are organized, you're focused on measurably impacting student success, and with this clarity of purpose, you will build more buy-in and support for what you do, resulting in more time to work directly with students, and hopefully allowing you to have a larger impact on the success of your students. Remember, if you have any questions or need some support, even emotional support, you can contact me, Matt, at the email address or phone number on the right-hand side of this graphic. Thanks for watching.